Welcome to another episode of Overlanding with Bruce. In this episode, I explore Harare, and then I head down to Bulawayo, where I spend a night at Matopos National Park. I also want to extend my appreciation to Graham at Overland Adventure Consultants and his better half Caroline for hosting us and feeding us on the Friday night. They also provided us with hot showers because clearly we needed it after a week in the bush. It was really great to meet you guys, and thanks so much for having us.
So we're just at the tyre shop sorting out Ryan's car with the friendliest bunch of people that you'd ever find. Kingdom Tyres just outside Harare on Samora Michelle. Best guys. And did a good job, eh? Got all the right equipment and everything. They're going to do wheel alignment now. And that's it. That's Graham. We stayed at Graham's place last night. Very kind of him to let us stay there. Ryan, so how do you think the service has been here, bud? Surprising, eh?
Top notch, gee whiskers. These guys, Graham said, guys, we need to move. These boys have got to get to Masringo today. And the fellas just jumped, And you know what the nice thing is that everyone's smiling. It's not like our mission for them.
Ryan's tyre problem was soon sorted out, and we went our separate ways. Ryan and John went towards Great Zimbabwe ruins, and I hung around Harare for a few days. Okay, so this is Enterprise Road, heading towards, if I remember correctly, Cheetah, Borrowdale, that sort of side. I think there's maybe Cheetah here, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's Cheetah. Don't recognize it at all. Okay, and then Harare Drive is up in front of us, where all those cars are. I don't know if you can see it yet, but I'm actually gonna go to Mandara and see what it looks like now. See, this is Oriel. Just looks old, to be honest. It's kind of how I remember it, just old. And there's speed bumps. And I remember this hill, riding my BMX up this hill, thinking it was so steep, and it actually doesn't seem steep now that I'm driving it. And if I remember correctly, there was actually a path on the left hand side that we used to use because this road was too dangerous, a cycling path or pedestrian path. I've got an appointment to get to, and I'm going to be going past Mandara quickly, and I'm kind of guessing my way there. You know, I haven't been there since I think 86, 85, 86, maybe 87. So let's see if I can find it. Wish me luck. Okay, so this is Pringle Road, and it's so strange because I've got these flashbacks of memories. I don't remember the houses on the right hand side here. In fact, I'm pretty convinced it was all open veld, grassland, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's changed a little bit. I do remember this hill. It seemed a lot steeper then, and I do remember that cycling path next to this hill. Now this has definitely changed. So I remember this road quite clearly to the right, and then on the left here used to be all veld. In fact, it was part of our property on the left here. So to see houses built here that have probably been here very long, it's quite surprising. So obviously the road hasn't been maintained for a long time, which is sad. I remember this road clearly, but this all used to be veld on the left hand side. Quite sad actually, to be honest with you. And then I do remember some houses on the right here, but it was mostly veld, probably halfway up the road. And oh jeez, I had many adventures in this place. There were all sorts of masasa trees. I remember those clearly. We used to have veld fires quite often. We used to have to go and fight those. But this road is shocking. It probably had no maintenance since we lived here. Where that green sign is, I seem to think that may be the driveway. it's definitely changed a bit. So let's have a look here. I remember that on the right hand side there was a grass tennis court as you drive up the driveway. So let's have a quick look. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I think maybe I've gone up too far. But let me have a look and see. Can always ask for forgiveness, you know. So I don't know if this is the right place. Okay, unfortunately I couldn't get through, but I have a feeling that this is the old driveway. I'm going to still try and get around because I see there is roads the other side. So let me try and get around and then I will come back to you. Okay, I'm really doing some adventuring here. So I hope I don't get into trouble. But yeah, like I say, it's always easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. So yeah, wish me some luck. This is still in Mandara, and I'm probably less than a kilometer away from the old house, but I can't seem to get there. That old driveway seems to be the old driveway, but look, it's changed a lot. I mean, there was hedges on the right hand side and bush on the left, which is no longer there, so I don't recognize any of it. But I think this is the borderline of Chivero prison, and if it is, then maybe there's a road that I can go down to see if the old house is still there. I just hope I'm not on Chivero prison now, and I hope I don't get in trouble. I'm just going to drive around and still see if I can perhaps get lucky. But a lot of these houses have a very similar style, and I think that yeah, unfortunately they're building a complex where I think the house was more or less. But who knows? Let me try up this road. Maybe I get lucky. You never know. You know, it's just amazing that this all used to be bush. And I look at some of these trees and I wonder. I mean, some of them probably been here for years and years and years, and some of them were probably our trees, if that makes sense. But it's actually quite shocking because it's new to me, but it's so badly run down, and it just makes you realize how much time has gone by. So it's pretty sad, actually. It really is pretty sad. So many good childhood memories here. But yeah, all the other houses that side of the wall appear to be freshly built or in the process of being built. When I got back to Johannesburg, I actually went onto Google Earth and found I was very close to the old house, which is still standing according to Google Earth, which is nice. And the mealie fields I drove through was indeed Chivero prison. Well, in the old days it was Chivero prison, so I'm not sure if it still is. So if you do know, please comment below and let me know. But at least I didn't get arrested or anything like that. Greenwood Park is still there. Shucks, it looks exactly the same. Just needs a bit of maintenance, that's all, but it looks exactly the same. Quite amazing, actually. Just down the road from Greenwood Park is the Sacred Heart Cathedral. This was originally built in 1893 on the grounds of the convent school, and when the congregation got too big, it was rebuilt again and reopened in the 1900s. The congregation grew some more, and then on the 2nd of August 1925, the current cathedral opened. There. I think this is a botanical gardens, if I remember correctly. That's what it was called. We used to have amazing gardens in here. A lot of people there. I don't know what they're doing, but it seems like a huge amount of people. Spent many adventures walking around there also with mates. There's the Sheraton Hotel. Sure, I remember that place being built and being able to see it from St. George's, and everyone was so excited and impressed with it. In fact, it doesn't even have a name on it. I wonder if it's still called the Sheraton. Okay, this is the showgrounds. Sure, I remember that building. Looks like it's falling over. But yeah, this is the old showgrounds. I'm not sure if they use it for showgrounds anymore, but I can remember, sure, it seems a lot smaller than what I remember, but I suppose I've grown up. On the left there's Heroes Acre. On top of the hill you can see the steeple there. It's crazy because it always used to seem so far out of town for me. But here's the National Stadium. I don't know what they call it now. People like Paul Simon and UB40 have all played there. Okay, this is driving through Belvedere, and yeah, there's lots of suicidal flipping drivers here. Sure, I don't know if that's the old hospital or what is it. But one thing Harare has is a lot of second-hand car sales and scrap car dealers. They're all over the place. Scrap cars are lying on the side of the street in some areas. I mean, look at all these cars. There's some scrap cars there. Don't know what they do with all these cars, but gee whiz. Now I do realize that a lot of people may not enjoy this type of video, but I thought it would be quite nice for all the ex-Zimbabweans and even family members of mine to see how it looks in Harare today. It's actually not as bad as the media makes out to be. Now there are some people that are battling, obviously, and that's what happens in struggling economies, unfortunately. But it's a very different picture to what I had in mind and what the media had given me. Yeah, I don't know what... I think this is the start of Borrowdale Road. I can't actually remember, but it's a state house. Really nicely done. Ah, okay, I know where we are. This is the start of Borrowdale Road. We should see St. George's on the left soon. There used to be, no, there's a big gate there I can see. Used to be able to go in that entrance there, but clearly you can't do that anymore. I'm going to sneak into St. George's and see if I get in trouble. Okay, so just past this driveway, you'll see a little curb, like a little entrance there, bus stop. I used to sit and wait there sometimes. Then in here, let me just get through security. At that bus stop, we also used to sometimes wait. And often we'll see President Mugabe drive past, and we used to stand up and he used to wave out his window at us and smile, but often with his motorcade. This whole gate has changed. It's not like it was back in the day. I just seem to recall a much smaller gate. None of that was there. St. George's College. This is probably part of the old gate. It looks more original than the rest of it. But 1896, eh? The other side of the gate is unfortunately missing. That's definitely the original part of the gate. And then now there's security and everything. Obviously times have changed, but this is how it looks now. Fantastic. This used to be a cricket field. I see it's now a rugby field, and those rocks, it wasn't a flower bed. We used to sit and wait there after school. Looks like they still play cricket, because in the middle of the field there's a cricket pitch. This always used to be first team rugby. Still looking very nice. This used to be our hangout spot after school while waiting for the folks. And then, gee whiz, I don't remember this part so well, but I don't know what's changed, but I don't think these roads existed at the time I was here. Can't remember. I remember these gardens. A lot of these places we weren't allowed to go through. And there's the iconic castle, or the admin building. St. George's College has an amazing history which spans back to 1896, when it started out as a two-windowed corrugated iron hut housing 6 students and a teacher. So the administration block. And let's go over here. I cannot believe I just drove into the school and just helped myself here. It still looks exactly the same. We used to abseil off the top there with Mike Lamborn, our PT teacher. And then over here is where we had mass, and then the hostels. Yeah, we used to abseil off the top there. It's probably been 30 years since I was here. I only found out when looking for these pictures that teardrop island in the middle of the driveway is the original island. Missing a few trees, of course, but it's still there. Quite amazing. Oh, the school still looks amazing. Basketball courts and tennis courts are still in the same place. Nothing changed, eh? There's people behind us here. I spent a lot of time running around these fields. This was athletics fields, but I said soccer, and I think soccer fields also when I was here. Don't remember this field. I remember the next one along being cricket. And I remember tennis courts and basketball courts. I'm actually going to try and park and see if I can just take a walk around. Maybe I'll get in trouble, maybe I won't. Maybe someone will ask me what I'm doing here, maybe someone won't. But I must say the school's looking fantastic, eh? But it's exactly how I remember. I don't even know if the doors have changed, but it actually looks amazing. I'm sure over here there was a big pond in the middle here. That's obviously been taken away. We were never allowed to walk on this grass because that was prefects and seniors lawn. So we weren't allowed to walk there. But not much has changed. I mean, plants are different. The building is slightly different. I mean, it's well maintained. I don't know if the Jesuits or the priests are still running the place. But yeah, it's looks the same, huh? I'm just walking around. Hopefully I don't get in trouble. I kind of feel a little bit out of place because there's no one actually to ask if I'm allowed to come in. I remember we had to go down into this office, which is now a music center, and get feds, which means we were given slaps on our hands for being disobedient. But it looks amazing. At the end there, if I remember correctly, was the library. My class was number 15 with Mr. Fernandez. He was a great teacher. He taught us maths also. Wow, it looks amazing, eh? Really does look amazing. I see there is a guy that looks like security there, but I'm just going to carry on looking anyway. We used to sometimes hold assembly here in this courtyard, and sometimes in that building there. So I just waved at security. How are you? Yeah.
This like this.
Yes.
But you know, because of like their rights and what some stuff, and you know, lots of things are like getting cancelled. Yeah.
Do the students, when they come here, still write history exams on the school and everything?
Yes, they do.
They do. Yeah.
They wrote last week.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, they wrote last week.
I remember.
Yes.
You had to study for that stuff. Yeah.
Like who was the founder for the Betreme?
Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, we used to. Can I have a look at the pool?
Yes.
I'm not going to go inside. But
That's okay. No problem, but I don't have the keys.
No, it's fine.
Yes.
I don't want to go inside. I
Yeah,
just want to look.
sure. Oh,
But
good.
we used to sit. We were allowed to sit here
By the edge.
by the edge. But
Right at the edge.
Yeah,
like,
but-
like here.
but we couldn't touch the grass.
Yes.
Hey, the guys used to give us trouble, eh? And
Yeah,
every time
sure.
the senior comes, we have to stand up.
That's right.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, they're still doing it.
Okay.
Yes. This is our pool.
Oh, the diving board's gone.
Yes, you know, you still remember?
Oh, it's closed now. It used to be open, those change rooms.
Yeah, those change rooms were open.
Yeah.
But now they decided to
close it.
To close.
Yeah.
Yes. And the change rooms are still the same
Okay.
with concrete benches.
And the bench, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And do they still play water polo here?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They do. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Good.
Please excuse that bad filming. I actually recorded that by mistake. I didn't realize that I was actually recording it, and I thought it was quite nice to include it because he was such a character and so proud to work for an amazing school like this. Oh, and don't tell anyone, but I snuck onto the seniors' lawn and walked across it for the first time ever.
Yeah. Don't quite know what to say, but it's just so awesome to see this place. This is the first team rugby pitch that was only used for first team rugby players. I see it's cricket pitch also now. I'm going to go sit on the rock that I used to sit on waiting after school. A bit weird, I know, but what the hell. See, quite incredible. It's very nostalgic and emotional to be back here, even though I only spent 3 years here. So my gran, Margie, my dad used to always pick me up. In fact, my grandparents on my mother's side came and picked me up here once, and I went to my Uncle Finn's farm in Mount Darwin, and then we went up to Matopos, and it was the first time I ever saw wild dog on the way to Kenyemba. Awesome adventure. You know, all of these sort of things sort of are the building blocks of who you become later in life, I think. I know it's kind of deep, but it's emotional being here at the school again. Such a wonderful place. One other thing I wanted to mention is that we had I'm not actually sure, I can't remember what he was, but I think he was some sort of teacher or maybe a groundskeeper or something like that. We used to call him, I think, Spike. Spike seems to ring a bell. But he was a skinny guy, old guy in those days. I'm sure he's passed on by now. But he used to have these 2 huge St. Bernards. And he used to walk his St. Bernards around the school here. Mainly on the cricket field when there wasn't cricket. And everyone was terrified of the guy because he gave us the feds. The feds is like a rubber thing that you hit on the hands of naughty students. That probably nowadays they wouldn't be doing things like that because yeah, kids are different today. So this is the first team rugby field, and on that stands we used to, the whole school would come out and support the rugby players. We had songs or war cries, better known for war cries, that we used to sing, and yeah man, some good times and brilliant school spirit. You know, something that was missing I think in schools I went to in South Africa, but really fantastic, and it's so nice to see the school in such great condition. You know, apart from a couple of trees and a couple of flower beds, it's pretty much the same as what I remember. You know, like this area here where I just showed you, never used to be paved, it used to just be dirt. And we always used to wait on those rocks there, which wasn't a flower bed at the time, it was just a bunch of rocks that we used to sit on because it was dirt all around it, it wasn't grass. So there's certainly been some improvements. There was never rugby played on that field, it was always cricket. It was there was a cricket pavilion. Let's walk over there, I'll show you. The cricket pavilion was always there. We weren't really allowed to there, but I wasn't really into cricket, so we never really came here. All the seniors used to hang out there.
And oh sure, but they've even, looks like they've even got braais now. So I just don't remember it ever being a rugby field. And there's the rocks we used to sit on after school while waiting for a lift home. Okay, I'm back on Borrowdale Road. I've just left St. George's. This botanical gardens looks exactly the same as what I remember. It's kind of like just left wild, which is nice. Oh dear, that guy's lost a wheel. But now there looks like an Air Force base across the road here. I don't know if that's always been there. But yeah, that's all new. The plane's obviously been decommissioned for whatever reason, but it's all new. So now I'm traveling towards Borrowdale. I'm sure many of you would remember this because we used to drive this road so many times. I think it was the main road to everywhere pretty much. Going to town, to Barbers, to Greatermans, to Dairy Den, to Wimpy for breakfast. I think we only had one Wimpy in those days. And then obviously to school every morning and afternoon. So this road, I've been along it for many times. Okay, so traveling along Borrowdale Road, I remember going along this road and everything from Ford Mustangs to 4x4s to mini station wagons and little minis like Gran had. And I think even a Daihatsu was thrown in there sometime. But yeah, everywhere there's people trying to make a living, selling furniture on the side of the road. You know, obviously jobs. I mean, there's these garden concrete display things also for sale everywhere. This used to be Borrowdale Racecourse. I'm sure it's still here, but there's a lot of office buildings. It looks that are on the premises. And then on the left hand side, this also used to be all felt, but it looks like an expo center where they're having a schools expo. Never heard of that, but that sounds interesting. Borrowdale Racecourse is coming up in a few minutes, and I remember everything on the left here was just felt. Maybe that's still coming up, because I see there is felt over here coming up. So maybe I'm just out by a kilometer or two. Okay, here's Borrowdale Racecourse. Looks pretty good. Looks like a new building there. Looks like there's racing, probably gambling. But interesting. So, yeah, I hope I remember this correctly, but I'm going to go past Borrowdale Primary School. I think it's here. Let's see if my memory is here. The headmaster was Mr. Major when I was here, and he drove a little MG, I don't know what it was, a little MG sports car type thing, and I'm not quite sure whatever happened to that car, but I'm sure it's a collector's item now. Okay, so I'm going to stop while we're at the traffic light. I'm sure you don't want to watch that. Okay, so this is Borrowdale Primary School. Unfortunately, where we planted trees for Arbor Day is no longer there. And they've obviously taken the trees out for whatever reason. I'm going to try and have a look in the gate here. Yeah, there's that wall which is the same, and those little houses, but there's no trees there anymore. So they've definitely been taken out. But yeah, there's my primary school. Well, I think I went there for 2 years. I can't actually remember. 1 or 2 years, I can't remember. But one of my good memories from this school is getting a cat, Smokey. One of the kids came to school with a whole bunch of cats in a little shoebox or whatever, and I ended up taking a cat and then using Gran as an excuse to keep the cat, because as you can imagine, Dad and I can't remember Margie's reaction, but I'm sure they weren't too happy with me bringing a cat home. So I said it was a present for Gran. Easy way out. And yeah, the gate is still here that we used to use to come out of school, and I used to get picked up here. Gee whiz, it looks exactly the same as what I remember. And that in that hall, my only professional performance on stage, let's put it that way, so it sounds very impressive, what is in that hall, where I had to stand in the background of all the proper actors and actresses and be Samson in the play Samson and Delilah. And the school teachers, I was so angry because they made me wear a dress, as the Romans used to do in those days. Unfortunately, I can't see anything past this wall, but it looks all pretty much the same. There was a pool at the end of the field here, but even when I was there, that pool was never ever used, and I'm sure it's probably the same now. It's a shame, actually, because I'm sure there's lots of kids that never actually had the opportunity to learn to swim. So that's Borrowdale Primary School. Let's go see what Borrowdale or Sam Levy's village is like now. This is Sam Levy's village now. Now, I remember this being a little sort of farmer's type supermarket just on the corner here. It's all totally rebuilt now. And it's even called Village Walk. Wow. Now this was a big surprise because I actually went into this Pick and Pay here, and it's probably one of the best Pick and Pays I've been in. And surprisingly, a lot of the items that I purchased were a lot cheaper than from what we pay in South Africa. There's a nice Mercedes-Benz dealership here. And there goes a suicidal driver in his Peugeot. Garfunkel's is there. Here's Sam Levy's village. I know we used to turn right here somewhere. It's pretty empty actually. Maybe it's not so popular anymore. Maybe the new centres are more popular. And mind you, this looks like the back of it, so I don't think you can get in from this side. Okay, let me sign off and then I'll go inside and film. I'm going to be sneaky because apparently some people are complaining that there's filming going on and that sort of thing while they're trying to shop. But this looks good, eh? All the shops are full. A lot of sort of boutiques and opticians and whatnot. Okay, so I think this is the new section of Sam Levy. Don't really recognize this. It's definitely the more popular side. Mercedes dealership. There's clearly people that are gonna spend money on cars here. And they also sell Haval, it looks like. Nedbank. I didn't know Nedbank were in this country. Okay, and this is the village walk. Sure. Okay, this is travelling on the Borrowdale Road. We've just gone past Helensdale. Some of you may remember that little shopping centre. It's changed a little bit. Our film was on the way back. There was just a bit too much traffic. But out here, I seem to recall on the left-hand side a massive dairy farm. Or certainly a farm with cows. It could have been a dairy, it could have been another type of farm. So I'm just interested to see if it's still here. So I'm taking a little short drive out. There's a lot of roads that are closed with booms and security sitting at booms, kind of like what you see in South Africa.
which sort of, to me, tells me that maybe there is a little bit of a crime problem now. Zimbabwe's never really had bad crime, or violent crime, let's just say. It's always been petty crime and theft, so I don't know if that's changed. But yeah, anyway, I'm driving out to out on Borrowdale Road. Yeah, I don't remember this at all. Picture in my mind is very different to what is here now. So I'm just going to drive a little bit further and see. We actually also used to live out here, a place called Hoggetty Hill. But I have some good memories there also. Well, there's clearly still cows here. As for the dairy farm, I don't know where it is. I remember this big old farmhouse with these beautiful fences and everything, but it could be in another area. Maybe I'm confused. Let me drive a little bit further and I'll film a bit more. There's some quite fancy cars here also, hey? Imported cars, some American, some fancy German cars. I think this is on the way to Domboshawa. Domboshawa was very famous for having massive granite rocks, and we always used to go out there and climb the rocks and have picnics and whatnot. So this is out past Borrowdale on the way to Domboshawa, and I've decided to turn around and I'm heading back to Harare because it's just too much chaos, which is unfortunate. This all wasn't here the last time we were in Domboshawa, which was probably 97. Seems like you can buy here anything that you want here, from car spares to oils, accessories, car accessories, building materials, you name it. You can even get your car washed here, which I don't think I'm going to do, even though the car needs a wash. But people are trying to sell anything and everything, eh? There's a spares shop. Jeez, they got a lot of stuff in these little shacks. So all the vegetables are here, you name it, you can get it. The vegetables actually look pretty good, to be honest. They look very good. Look healthy. And then of course oranges. This region, or Mazoe, which is close to here, is well known for their Mazoe orange. But there's avos, there's sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes seem very popular. That's Helensvale. Sharon Carlos's old road. Okay, so I stayed in Borrowdale for Saturday, Sunday, and stayed in this really nice little lodge that does a fantastic breakfast in the morning. There's different room options. I wanted a room with windows because I like to sleep with windows open and everything, so I've got a nice little room, and it was very reasonable. Very friendly people, so come and support them. I mean, my room, I went out just now, about an hour ago, 2 hours ago, and my room is spotless again. It's so awesome, and beds are comfortable. Really great place to stay, and I've enjoyed it immensely. The people are awesome here, so come and support them. I'll put the details down in a link below, but they are on bookings.com. I didn't use bookings.com because I was a bit late, so I just pretty much just came and the ladies helped me out here. So it was really awesome. Very pretty garden, very quiet neighborhood, very easy to get here. Borrowdale Road is less than a kilometer away, and it's a nice place to stay if you're looking for a B&B type accommodation. Okay, so there's cupboard parking. If you don't have a high roof rack, I just don't make it in. And then let me show you my room. It's a little bit of a mess because I'm sorting everything out at the moment, so excuse it.
But that's the room. Very neat. DSTV, everything you need. Couch over here with all my stuff on it. I'm busy sorting out. There's a fridge, microwave, kettle to make coffee and everything. And then a very basic bathroom, which is really clean and nice. And yeah, what more do you need, hey, for a couple of quiet nights in Harare? Okay, as I was saying, very friendly staff and a very nice place to stay. This is the lady that helped me out, Stu. Say hi, Stu.
Hi, how are you?
Gonna make you famous now, eh?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
But thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to stay here.
Yeah,
eh?
you're welcome. Always welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm now traveling down Harare Drive towards our other old property that we used to stay in. And pretty good road. It's probably the best in Harare, to be honest with you. But it looks good. Let's see if I can find the house. Seems like everybody's got these solid gates now. They don't like to have the gates open like they used to. I remember the hedges and some walls, but I don't remember everything being closed up with electric fencing like it is now. So I'm going to try and pull over here. And here's another house I lived in. When we moved in here, we didn't actually even have electric gate, so my sisters were too small to open the gate, so I ended up opening the gate most of the time. But I see things have advanced a little bit. I'm going to peep over the wall, but apart from the tennis court, it still looks good. Okay, this is a route we always used to take to Borrowdale village or Sam Levy's. Just to show you what it looks like. I think I'm going to probably do a video on this to help you guys, because it's actually pretty hard to take pictures because it doesn't give you the right sort of impression. But this is still a nice looking area, some big houses here. Looks like some of the old houses have been knocked down and they've put bigger walls up, like this one here. There's a guy watering the pavement. Absolutely massive wall. But it's so weird, you've got that massive house and then all the other houses don't even look like they're painted. And then you've got a really nice house again, and then a whole bunch of houses that aren't painted. So it gives you a strange sort of impression of the neighborhood. I mean, look at this massive house. This whole wall is one property. It's insanely big. Yeah. There, I think they bought two properties and made one house. Okay, so I'm on my way to Bulawayo via Gweru and Kwekwe, or Kwekwe and Gweru. And this is the Lake Chivero road, or the old Lake Macwayne road, now dual carriageway. Okay, I found the road to the Lion Park. There's signs and everything saying Lion Park and Snake Park and all this sort of thing, so I'm just trying to see if I can find it. So this is the Lion and Cheetah Park that we used to come to as kids. And there's Tommy, the tortoise, but he's been here since we were kids. Amazing, eh? Hello, Tommy. Hello, Tommy. Tommy is known as a Galapagos tortoise and is estimated to be about 250 years old. He's been in Africa since about 1945, where he was traded for vegetables in Beira. He was then moved to Zimbabwe and has been there ever since. Now, if you think about his age, he's predated the French and US revolutions. Flush toilets weren't even invented when he was born, and aircraft and vehicles certainly weren't invented either. Now, no one really knows Tommy's history, but he's definitely one of the lucky ones, because back in the old days, they used to carry these tortoises on ships as a source of meat. The reason they used these tortoises was because they didn't need to be fed for up to a year at a time, and the meat would stay fresh. Quite sad, actually. But imagine if Tommy could talk and tell you how the history of the world has changed in his lifetime.
I'm just recording from here because I've left the Lion and Cheetah Park, and I think this is close. This is the Lake Chivero turnoff, or Lake Mac turnoff. Some of you may remember it a little bit differently. I do. I remember there being cows on either side of the road here.
Now, Lake Chivero, which was formerly known as Lake Macquain, was built in 1952. It's downstream from Harare, which may be a little bit of a problem for it because I believe that it has been heavily polluted. When I was a kid, we used to have two main boating clubs that we used to visit here. There was Mazoe Yacht Club, and then there was, I think it was called Wingate Speedboat Club. They were both at opposite ends of the lake, and so they didn't bother each other. But those were the two main ones that we used to go to. Really great memories in this lake. I'm not sure what it's like now, but let's see what we can find.
So this is the road to the old, but this says, oh, I can't even read that. And there's a lot of Kariba weed, but I think this could possibly it. Let me go and have a look. There's at least one yacht here. I remember there being so many on this sort of beachfront. There's the lake. Yeah, I think this is the place. Let me park and just go walk around. I hope I'm allowed here. I'm sure I'm going to get arrested because of you guys. But anyway, let me come back. Okay, definitely the old yacht club. Shame the pools are no longer used. The little vervet monkey here. Oh, the pool's a wreck, eh? It's a shame. Okay, here's a good example of a toll gate. Normally about 30 Rand. I think $2 US or something like that. Okay. How much is it?
30 Rand.
Thanks a lot, eh? Ciao. Bye bye. And that was a toll road, so that they don't really have change for rands, but I still sometimes pay with rands. I've got away with it a few times. They do accept US dollars.
and they seem to always have change in US dollars. So if you bring US dollars to the country, make sure you bring small denominations like 5s, 2s and 1s if possible. Most of the toll gates are 2 US dollars, so if you can get a bunch of 2s, you should be okay. They're doing a little bit of exploring here. We're about 30 k's before Kwekwe, not too far, and I saw this little side road by the main road's bridge. This is obviously the old bridge from back in the day, who knows how old, but let's have a look. There's nothing saying can't go here or anything like that, so okay. I was expecting a bigger river, to be honest, but sure. Yeah, it's quite dirty, looks like. Good place to hide if someone's chasing you on the main road. Some really old buildings here, you can see. So I'm in Kwekwe at the moment. I'm 120 kilometers from Bulawayo. Another sunset, and still 68 kilometers or 70 kilometers from Bulawayo. Another awesome Zimbabwean sunset. Okay, just a little hint: when you're driving in Zimbabwe and you go to pass a vehicle, generally what happens is you'll catch them at about 80-90 k's an hour, and then when you go to pass them, they'll probably speed up to anything from 120 to 150 kilometers an hour. And I'm not sure why they do this, if it's out of spite or anything else, but anyway, you just make sure that you be careful. And then what they also do is, you can see most of them look in the right hand mirror as you're passing, and then they seem to turn right when they do that. So just be very careful. They don't move over and give you space. In fact, sometimes I think they actually try and block you. Not blatantly, but they kind of drift over the middle line, and it can get a bit close sometimes. So sometimes you'll get trucks also. What they'll do is, when you're behind them, they'll indicate to the left, which means that you can actually pass. Other times they'll indicate to the right, which means you mustn't pass. So if you see that, or if you see them put on their hazards, hazards can mean anything from I'm stopping, or there is a hazard up front, be careful, there's cars, there's goats, there's anything. I think it's all pretty obvious, but I thought I'd mention it because I do have some overseas subscribers that may not have driven in Africa, and that want to come and visit Africa, visit Zimbabwe in particular. I don't know why he's flashing his lights. Excuse me. So yeah, any of the overseas visitors, please just be very careful and be very aware that I don't know, life is cheap, and sometimes people don't think about what they're doing. There also, a lot of vehicles do not have brake lights, do not have indicators, and do not have headlights. And if they do have headlights, it's probably brighter to hold a torch up for them instead of using the headlights. So just be very aware of the dangers when driving around here. I'm actually breaking my own rules where I'm driving at night, but I was running late after a meeting, and I'm sort of in between Kwekwe and Bulawayo with another 50 kilometers to go. I'm not sure where I'm going to be staying tonight, but try not to drive at night like I'm doing. You know, there's animals in the road, there's potholes, there's all sorts of things that can end your journey very quickly. So just be very careful and drive defensively the whole time. In 1904, Cecil John Rhodes' statue was placed in the center of the square. This was replaced by Joshua Nkomo in 1981. The Cecil John Rhodes statue is still in the Natural History Museum of Zimbabwe till this day. Joshua Nkomo famously said the hardest lesson of his life had come too late. It is that a nation can win freedom without its people becoming free. Something to think about. Joshua Nkomo passed away in July of 1999 from cancer.
This building on the left has a plinth that says 1914 on it, so it's pretty old. Wow, another very old building. I'm trying to see a date, but there isn't one on it. But like in any town, you get chaos. These guys sell anything and everything they can to make a living. So here is a good example of a road that's actually 3 lanes, but you don't know who's got 2 lanes and who doesn't. But it seems that the way I'm going is 2 lanes and the way opposite direction is 1 lane. But I couldn't tell you if it's right or wrong because there's no signs. Here's Cresta Lodge. It's like a really nice place to stay. If anything's for outsiders to go by. I didn't do much filming because I was actually looking for a place to stay, but I managed to get hold of Ryan from 4x4 Ventures, who had organized a campsite for us. So I ended up staying in Matopos National Park, which was really nice. A place called Anderson Camp. It's a new campsite. They do schools also, but there's a lot of space. Quite a nice little place. Weather's been very cold though. And it's got like this old camper van that I slept in, thankfully, because it was very cold. And it's a nice little camp. Bathrooms, donkey geyser, all that sort of thing. With a great view. In the next episode we explore Matopos National Park before Ryan and I then head off to Borrowdale along the most amazing adventure route through southern Zimbabwe. We then spend a few days in Borrowdale before heading back to South Africa. So thank you for watching, and thank you to all those people that took the time to comment in the last few videos. I've really enjoyed replying to those comments, and I hope I didn't miss anyone out. Until next time.